Welcome to today's explainer. Look, we are taking a massive leap today. We're going to shift your mindset from being just a reactive participant in your fields to becoming a master orchestrator of your entire agricultural ecosystem. I know you've already got the fundamentals down, right? You know your soil, you're irrigating efficiently, and your pest management is rock solid. But today, we're going deeper. We are zooming all the way out from the microscopic biological level straight up to the macro environment. We're going to explore the truly advanced, sophisticated strategies that consistently deliver higher yields and, honestly, separate good farmers from the truly exceptional ones. All right, so here is our roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover the plant's internal engine, move into precision nutrient delivery, talk about perfecting plant architecture, explore advanced cropping systems, and finally wrap up with mastering crop stress. Let's jump in. Section 1, the plant's internal engine. We're kicking things off with crop physiology. So think of your plant's leaves as the sources. They are basically biological solar panels capturing sunlight and manufacturing sugars. It's wild to think about, but a single healthy leaf can produce incredible amounts of glucose every single day, literally turning raw sunlight into biological fuel. Now, the sinks are the parts of the plant actually consuming those sugars, things like the roots, the stems, and eventually you're developing grains or fruits. Understanding this exact source sink dynamic is a total game changer. Why? Because if you know exactly where the plant wants to push its energy at specific growth stages, you can actively support its natural growth priorities and time your interventions perfectly. Here is the crucial takeaway from this. There is absolutely no neutral action in farming. Every single management decision you make either increases or decreases your crop's photosynthetic efficiency. If you plant your seeds too densely, you're causing shading. If you let nutrient levels drop, you reduce the overall leaf area. If you allow even a little water stress, the plant's stomata just close right up. So you are directly impacting the core engine of crop production with literally every choice you make out there in the dirt. Moving right along to Section 2, Precision Nutrient Delivery, time to look at some advanced strategies. Okay, there is a massive, critical difference between what you think your plants are getting versus what they are actually consuming. Soil testing, well, that really only tells you what is sitting there in the ground. But tissue testing analyzes the actual plant material itself. By comparing the two side by side, you can uncover some major hidden roadblocks. For instance, you might have plenty of nutrients in the soil, but tissue testing could reveal that a pH imbalance, severe soil compaction, or even just a specific micronutrient deficiency is actively blocking the plant from absorbing them. Get a load of this number. By utilizing fertigation, which is just dissolving your fertilizers directly into your drip irrigation water, you can reduce your total fertilizer requirements by a staggering 30 to 40%. That's huge. And not only are you saving a ton of money, but you're actually improving your overall yield. That's because you are delivering those nutrients directly to the root zone at the exact right time, especially when you split up the applications to perfectly match the crop's peak demand. Now we know intensive farming rapidly depletes trace elements. When you start spotting specific symptoms out in the field, it's time to trigger an if-then action loop. Check this out. If you see stunted growth in your wheat or maize, you might be looking at a widespread zinc deficiency. Seeing yellowing between the veins? That's likely an iron issue. Got hollow stems in your cauliflower? That points to boron. If you confirm these issues through your tissue testing, then you need to immediately apply rapid correction foliar sprays. You've got to get those biological factories running at full capacity again. Let's dive into Section 3, Perfecting Plant Architecture. This is all about canopy management. Look, before you even think about firing up a tractor, you really should perform this super simple seed germination test. Just take 100 seeds, place them between some moist paper towels, keep them in a warm spot, and count what pops up. You're looking for at least an 80% germination rate here. This one ridiculously simple step prevents the absolute heartbreak of poor field establishment. It helps you assess true seed vigor before you commit your valuable time and land to a subpar crop. You know, letting plants just grow wild is actually a missed opportunity. We need to be actively managing the canopy. By physically removing tomato suckers, you're literally pushing energy straight into the fruit. By trellising your cucumbers, you drastically improve light and airflow. In fact, commercial orchard growers routinely thin their fruit loads down to 60 or 70% of the natural set. And why do they do that? Because deliberately directing the plant's energy towards fewer fruits results in premium, commercial-grade produce that commands much, much higher market prices. Let's zoom out a bit for Section 4, Advanced Cropping Systems. We are moving way beyond basic monoculture now. Have you ever heard of the land equivalent ratio, or LER? Well, it proves that complementary intercropping generates massive advantages. For example, planting sorghum right alongside pigeon pea can actually give you an LER of 1.3. What does that mean for you? It means you are generating 30% more total output from the exact same plot of dirt than if you grew either of those crops completely alone. You are just using your available sunlight, water, and nutrients so much more efficiently. And honestly, the strategies get even cooler from there. Take relay cropping, like planting wheat directly into standing rice weeks before you even harvest the rice. That completely eliminates the gap between crop seasons. Or think about multi-story cropping, which actually mimics a natural forest structure. By strategically layering tall coconuts, mid-level areca nuts, lower bananas, and ground-level ginger, you are maximizing every inch of your vertical space. This allows even really small landholdings to achieve truly extraordinary layered productivity. Finally, we've arrived at Section 5, Mastering Crop Stress. So you can have everything dialed in perfectly. You've got a tuned internal engine, brilliant canopy architecture, and a highly efficient intercropping system. But we have to ask the big question: what happens when nature fights back? How do we proactively defend our crops against the extremes of a changing and often really volatile climate? Well, you've got advanced mitigation tactics to act as your ultimate shield. For heat stress, which, by the way, can cause severe pollen sterility, you can adjust your planting dates or use mulches to actively cool the soil. For drought, you don't just wait to water when things start wilting. Instead, you use deficit irrigation early on to force deeper root growth, or you apply silica sprays to physically harden the plants. And for creeping soil salinity, applying gypsum actually displaces root zone sodium, so you can safely leach the salts away. The trick here is that you are building up your defenses long before the extreme weather even strikes. At the end of the day, advanced farming isn't about complexity just for the sake of being complicated. It is about knowing your crop deeply enough to make precisely the right intervention at precisely the right time. So, are you willing to abandon the safety of the way we've always done it to try just one of these methods? I challenge you. Pick one strategy we talked about today, test it in the dirt this upcoming season, and just watch your fields transform. See you next time.